Honestly, for me, every time I thought of robotics, I've been in various clubs. Well, we built robots here and there. I went to some small league competitions. Well, won. Others we won a shout-out or two. Not a medal, but we still won some. Others we lost. But first global was like an eye-opener for me.
Wow.
Like, you meet new people from everywhere. First, when I met the team, I was a bit shy. I'm not gonna lie.
Welcome everybody to Jamhuri Fresh Off the Boat. I am your host, Jinna Odede, and I am so excited about this episode because you get to meet one of my peoples in the families. And on this podcast, we kind of share on real life experiences of Kenyans who dare to step beyond their villages and engage with the wider world. We get to follow their stories on culture shocks, career breakthroughs. We explore the highs and the lows and the lessons learned of them navigating life beyond borders. I think in the first episode, I touched on how my father traveling in the 1970s to Canada to study inspired the whole family to travel, because when he came back, he was a very different person. He had brilliant ideas, and he really made something out of his life. Following his story, then, he tells us the story of how my granddad used to travel on an oxen from Mukambani. He is a long-distance trader and traveled all the way to the borders of Kirinyaga with cereals and oil and tar selling to the neighboring people. And so that kind of built a courage in him that he too had a space in the global world, and in turn inspired me so much that I could do my film work, I could do my speaking work, but not just for Kenyans only, but I could do it beyond the borders, that I had a space in the global world. And so that story, when we follow it, kind of introduces you to my nephew, who's so interested in tech and all things tech and innovation, and I'm sure he will do a better introduction. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Why not?
Okay, cool.
Hi everyone, I'm Tequeino Mutune, nephew to Jinna, grandson and I guess son.
To be senior.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm a student at St. Mary's, currently about to go to Form 4 to finish my year in high school. I'm everything, I guess. I'm interested in techie stuff, building, questioning why stuff is made and how it can be changed. I'm just, if I can say, I'm open-minded, but at the same time, I also like hearing other people's options, coming together, and then eventually finding a conclusion to something that was never really thought of. So that's me.
So I was just going to touch on how you've always had this thing ever since you were very small. You know, you are constantly constructing things, you are constantly deconstructing things. And one vivid memory I have is how much you played with your Lego bricks. Like you would be lost in that world, innovating things for a long time. And you would build up this Lego fortress of some sort. I would ask you to tell me about your city, and you would tell me I would ask you to tell me about what you've built, and you tell me this is your city, and I would ask you, so where is the gate? Like, where are people gonna come through? And then you'd be like, no, we don't have a gate. People are landing with their cars are going to be landing like helicopters. I mean, you were like super young. I was just like, wow, your imagination is brilliant. And I remember us encouraging you to even just say that. And you would say that over and over again. You were talking about flying cars, which even I still can't perceive. But you're just like, yeah, that's going to be a reality in my world. That the cities that I want to develop have flying cars, not these cars that you guys have. So that was quite interesting to see that you have stayed true to that, 7 years down the lane, that you're still talking invention and innovation. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And we did also mention I love cars.
Yes, you actually, maybe 4 years ago, I'd ask you what your dream is, and you would say you'd want to be a what?
Something to do with cars.
Yeah, it was like you want to be the one who designs the car, something like that.
Designs, builds, drives. I just have a lot of things. But mostly for like the past, 5 years plus, I've had this strong passion with cars. Speed, how they drive, how we went from steam engines to V16s to, aerodynamics and the whole 9 yards.
Wow, there's a V16.
Well, V16, there's a V24. It goes on and on and on. It's honestly...
Like these are cars.
Well, no, that's the engine.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, cars, it can go from small to big to medium to trailer. Yeah.
Great. This is where I need Google search to search some of these things that you're saying. But, I really appreciate your brilliance. And I also really appreciate how you've grown. But before we go to that, I just want you to touch on how one of the reasons you're also seated here is because we're celebrating you and your team for the recent win in Panama. That the robot that you guys innovated won. It won silver out of 100 and what? 95?
Well, 81. Because almost, 9 countries or 8 were not able to come.
Okay.
So it was like 181 if I remember checking the scoreboard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. How do you feel about that? Do you want to show off your certificate to the people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. This one right here. Really colorful.
Awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Fast Global. And shout out to Kelvin for bringing this opportunity to me and my classmates in the school and my entire team. And it was an amazing opportunity. Honestly, for me, every time I thought of robotics, I've been in various clubs. Well, we built robots here and there, went to some small league competitions, won. Others we won a shout-out or two. Not a medal, but we still won some. Others we lost. But First Global was like an eye-opener for me.
Wow.
Like, you meet new people from everywhere. First, when I met the team, I was a bit shy, I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit shy, I was like, new people, how am I gonna know and interact with them? Yeah. So, from the interaction to the competition, it was amazing. From the vibes, the music, the few times we were like, no, we do this, no, we do that, but what if we do this? But at the same time, we're under restrictions, like, okay, everyone calm down. We are in this together and you have to come with a solution. And then we're like, okay, so this is my idea, this is my idea, this is my idea. How can you put all these ideas together?
Right.
So we did that. We built the robots from version 1 to version, I think 6 or 7. I'm not sure. No, I'm not referring to the meme for any Gen Zs in this. Yeah.
So quickly, we forgot to ask Kelvin, what was the name of the robot you built? The robot that won out of 81 countries. Why are you laughing? Like, what's the name of the robot?
Shout out to Gabriel, because he came up with this name. We named it Mzagla, which means rebel in Sheng.
Really? I thought it was called Hakuna Matata. Did you change it?
No, that was the name on the code. Like, when you're building the code, you give your robot a name, so you can identify the code you're going to use. But when we reached the competition, we decided to put the Hakuna Matata number plate, like, last minute. For, like, it's a Kenyan thing, Hakuna Matata. So, like, it's going to add it there with the picture of the lion drawn by Gayan. So, yeah. But the name was Mzagla, but towards the competition, we fought a bit. We're like, can you change the name? So
Mzagla means what?
Rebel in Sheng.
Which Sheng is this? Because the Sheng I spoke has nothing like Mzagla in it.
Now that you'll have to ask Gabriel, because I'm not fluent in Sheng.
Yeah, I mean, I was fluent in the 90s Sheng. This Sheng I don't know about, but it's very interesting that you have that. So it's very interesting. So it's just not robotics, but certain things have taken you out of the country at such a young age because you have not finished high school.
Yeah.
Which I think it's such an incredible opportunity. So just a few months ago, you were in Joburg.
Yes.
Shout out to South Africa. I told you we love South Africa. What took you to South Africa? Can you take us through that?
I can take it a short story if I can. So it was Simon. It's a debate MUN conference thing. So basically, I've never been much into debate or arguing or anything that involves like a lot of people. I was just to myself. But one of my classmates, Gitonga, went for this conference last year. He went for the conference and it seemed like he had a lot of fun, him and the rest of the team in the school.
Right.
They won a bunch of medals, the photos were amazing, the vibe seemed... So I was like, you know what? Why not push beyond your boundaries and just try something new? So I was like, you know what? When next year comes, I'll try it out and see where this goes.
Right.
So when the teacher came to our class with the letters, Miss Kaiser, she came, she was like, guys, if you want to try Saimoon, come to me and we'll talk and sign up and we'll go for the debate. So I signed up, registered, did all that, yada, yada, yada. And then we did a few mock debates?
Yeah, mock debates.
Yeah, mock debates and other debates in different schools with various impressive students. Like, for me, I thought debate and arguing was just like, you're given us a problem, just find a solution and you'll talk about it. But no, it's different solutions coming together, arguing them out. It got a bit chaotic, but then it was still fun. The mock debates were amazing, meeting new people from different schools. It was eye-opening and amazing seeing how people thought.
Right.
Because that was more or less, I just thought, like, within my shell, like, you tell me what's 2 plus 2, it's 4. Instead of, well, other people from other schools are like, if 2 plus 2 is 4, why can it not be 6 or 8? I know that makes no sense, but yeah, it's just...
I mean, the whole about debate is, building an argument and people can see it from different sides. Either the cup is half full or it's half empty, and they're able to really support the ideas. So what's also very interesting is that you are not kind of the person to debate or argue, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the debate club was building a confidence in you about speaking up.
Yeah, and throwing out ideas and asking why and how and what. Funny story, that's how I kind of won the competition. I got 3rd place. Well,
Wow.
not 3rd place, it's best diplomatic delegate. So, but I got a bronze, but still I got a medal.
Right.
Yeah. So
And you got it where?
In Joburg.
In Joburg.
Yeah, so after the last mock debate, no, that was at the workshop. Went to the workshop, which was being held at All Saints Cathedral. So I went there, went for the workshop, and then a few friends said, well, we sat down, people started arguing. I didn't speak much that day. I was a bit shy, I'm not going to lie.
Right.
I was a bit shy, but then my friends were outspoken. They spoke. There were these 2 girls who were always arguing, even arguing in the chair, and you're like, why not debate? Like, how?
Right.
These are your superiors. Why are you arguing with them? Just, give your point and let me talk. But then they were like, no, I'm going to speak, and if I get cancelled for speaking, then so be it. So they spoke, and then my friends won. I was part of them. We had an amazing time. Then towards the end of the conference, they sat us down, told us what we're going to need for the trip, what to pack, what not to pack, how much weight we'll have. And then the night of the trip came. It was the night before the trip. So I was in my room. Realization hits me really late. So that night I just sat and I was like, I'm about to travel out of Kenya. And I was like, okay. So what am I going to find out there? What is so exciting about traveling? I always ask myself those questions. So when the day came, I was at my dad's. As Kelvin said, your first trip, you pack 2 weeks before.
Right.
And 2 weeks before, I was packed. I was ready. I made sure I had everything. My dad made sure I had everything. He even told me, open your suitcase. We're going to double check right now. And I was like, okay. I think you're doing too much, but okay. I'll open my suitcase here. This is what I had. And then he was like, okay, you're ready. Passport? Yes. Yellow fever? Yes. This? Yes. That? Yes. I'm like, okay, I have everything.
Right, and if you lose your yellow fever, you're not going to go through in South Africa.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to say a funny story about that because part of this is a conversation. I remember one time traveling to South Africa, and I don't think right now, is it a requirement still?
I don't think it still is, because when I was going through immigration, they checked my yellow fever and they gave it back to me, so I think it still is, yeah.
Yes, and so for some reason, I think they had taken that rule out and then put it back again, and so I got to the airport and they were like, you got your ticket, you got everything, but you're not going to go to South Africa, you need your yellow fever. Girl, I was running across the airport to the next vaccine kiosk
Yeah.
to get my vaccine and get my certificate so that I can
Enter South Africa.
Yeah, so that I can go on the plane, because they had the policy and then they changed it, I think, last minute, and I wasn't aware. Or my travel agent also kind of misled me. There was something like that. Anywho, so that was very interesting. I was like, that plane is going to leave, Jinna, and I don't know what side effects I had on the plane from the vaccine they gave me.
It's just a security, it's a health standard, I guess they put. Funny thing, I nearly didn't travel to Panama because of that.
Oh, because you forgot your yellow fever?
Yes, because I didn't think it was a requirement. I was like, I think this was only for South Africa. So I was like, you know what, I'll just leave it in the house. I'll just go with my passports.
Isn't it one of those outdated things about Africa and the perception of Africa that needs to be lifted? Anyway, we're going to research that because I think it is an outdated thing. But I just want you to share, you were sharing with me on how traveling to SA changed your confidence. Do you want to kind of tell the...
Yeah.
Yes, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, so where was I? I was my dad telling me to be ready and all that.
Right.
Yeah, and then we reached the airport. Yeah, I think we all met in the airport as a group, or we traveled there by bus, I don't remember much. We reached there, all excited, or like, yeah. Oh yeah, we went to school first. Made sure everyone in school, whoever was in Simon traveling, was there. So we reached there. And they were like, everyone's here. Okay, we went to the bus. We started going to the airport. It was like, I think in the evening. I'm not sure. We reached the airport to make sure, do you have all your things? Do you have your suitcase? Do you have this? Do you have that? Everyone's like, okay, we have it. So we prepare. We start going into the airport. But before that, the show was like, hey, your parents want photos. Me, I'm like, did they get photos before you left the house? But then she's like, whatever the parent wants, the parent gets. Everyone stand there, smile, to pick a picture, to end.
Yes.
And we're like, okay. We did that, stood there, smiled. After that, we all started heading into the terminal, if I can call it that. The terminal, we got through there, security, smooth, everything we got through. And then we checked our tickets. Everyone was in a small group so that we all go to the ticket place when they scan your passport for the ticket. They give you a ticket, and then you got the plane. Well,
do you remember your first experience of the plane taking off and things like that? Were you scared?
That was my second time in a plane. My first time was going to Mombasa.
Okay.
And the thing is, when you're traveling domestic, I don't think they have a duty-free. So I have never been there.
Okay.
So when I was going...
They have a small one.
Really?
I think so.
I don't remember that being there. Or maybe I passed it. I'm not sure. It was a while ago. So I got through the tickets office, went and then entered another security place. I was like, okay, this is a bit much, but security. Did all that and then entered the duty free. And I was just like, whoa, hello, where am I? I'm just in shops. And then I'm like, am I in child heaven or I'm not sure.
Why you saw all the candy that you could not get?
No, I saw candy, I saw gifts. I was like, okay, I've not traveled yet. Careful. Because I was on a tight budget. So I was like, okay, don't do much. Just wait until you get to SA and then you can start spending and exploring.
Right.
So I was just stuck with, it was me, Jake, and Joshua. We were like together. And then other schools had already gotten there. Me, I didn't know. I'm just seeing guys wearing concert uniforms and other school uniforms. I'm like, hey, I'm never uniform. Hey, ball. Because that's when home clothes were like, hey. I guess that was an easy way to identify your students.
Right.
So there was that. And then we got into the plane. It was a Dreamliner, Kenya Airways, Boeing 777. First time in a big plane. So we get in the plane, captain talks, they do the security check, all that. I'm like, okay, this is happening. It's not a dream. I pinch myself, I'm like, okay.
Nice.
We start taxiing, enter the runway, engines pull up. The thing is, my dad travels a lot.
Right.
And always sends me photos, and he's always talking about a full power takeoff. I'm like, yo, what's the hype about this? It's just, just thrust.
Right.
So I just hear the engines pulling up, and then that's when I got excited.
You got excited?
Yes.
I was terrified. I mean, anytime the plane takes off, I'm like, who's the next person? It better be a nice person because I'm going to hold their hand. And I've held hands, white, Chinese, whoever. I'm just like, sorry, it's just for takeoff.
Well, the engine starts pulling up. The person I was sat next to But actually, it was kind of chill. I asked him, yo, can we switch? I want to take the windows here and take a few photos and videos. I'll send them to you. He was like, all right, that's cool. So we switch. You sit down. Engine starts pulling up. My seatbelt is buckled. I make sure everything is good. I'm cozy. So it starts pulling up. And then, it was just random. I don't know. I just remember just feeling me just sinking into the seat. And then you just move faster and faster. And like, you know how on airplanes they have those like TVs on the seat? Mine was set on like the world map, so you can see how fast the plane's going, how high you are, where you're going to. So I just...
There are people who look at those things.
Yes, like me.
Yeah, because I am waiting for them to shut that stuff so I can get to my entertainment part, because I'm like, I mean, unless it's a mountain I'm flying over, you know, when they say now we're flying over Mount Kenya or whatever, now that's exciting. But that stuff... I guess it has its audience, and you're the audience. Yeah. That's good.
So it was impressive seeing us go from 0 to 200 to 300, and then you just feel the plane get off the ground, and you're like, whoa, okay. It was a bit weird in the stomach. You're like, okay, calm down, nothing's gonna happen, you're good. People have flown planes multiple times, and I was like, okay. We got off the ground. It was a 4-hour flight. I think it's 4 hours to SA. Joburg. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a really long 4 hours, but it was actually quick. It was like a 1-hour flight.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm just sat down. I'm like, okay. The person sat next to me. We just make a few stories.
So can you forward to... okay, so your plane experience. So it wasn't that scary for you. It was more like... exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
And then now doing the debate, seeing all these young students from different parts of the world.
Well, it wasn't world, it was Kenya.
Okay. No, it was only Kenya that you were debating with?
Yeah, I think it was Kenya and a few... Oh, yeah, there was also South Africa.
Yeah.
And other people. I just remembered. I think for the me.
Yeah, there were other countries you were debating. So how did that change you as a debater? Because in Kenya, we can see you were building your confidence. Yeah. So what happened to you when you were in South Africa after seeing the debate, seeing young, brilliant minds owning their voice and being bold enough to speak their ideas, even if they're not perfect, you know, that just the courage to do that. What did that do to you? Because I knew you then more as a bit being more shy and reserved.
Yeah. So we landed, got in the hotel. The first day of conference happened. Well, me and my roommate were like, first of all, make sure you wake up early. He woke up at 3 a.m., I don't know why. Me, I was dead asleep. He wakes me up at 5. I'm like, yo, it's actually time. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I opened my suitcase. I was like, what do I wear for the first day? Do I go full suit? Do I go semi-formal? Or do I just freestyle it? Then I remember there's regulations. So I'm like, okay. I just wear my second-ish formal outfit, which was this white T-shirt and polo sweater.
Right.
So we wear that. We start heading to the conference center. We're being told... We reach there, and then we're being told, like, rules and regulations and all that. We already know the topic. We've done our research. We sit down, the chairs come, and then I'm like, okay, we're going to start this debate for, like, 10 minutes, and everyone has 2 minutes, 30 seconds to speak their mind out and rebuttal and all this, all that. First day, I didn't speak. First day, we spoke a bit, and then they were like, you know what, since most of you are new to this, we're going to an AN mode. AN mode is basically where you go into groups of the country you're representing into the, there's Africa, Asia, North America. Yeah, there's that. So we went to those blocks, and then we started throwing ideas around, started speaking. I was representing Jordan, so I don't think there was a block for Middle East on there. I don't know why. But I just entered a random group. Then they were talking and talking and talking. I had my points. I was like, are they really gonna, take my ideas for something?
You were in this group with young people who are debating. So at this point, you have to represent Jordan, right?
Yeah.
And speak like a Jordanian or something like that.
Well, I didn't have to speak the language, but I had to sort of represent them with the problems they have.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you gained your confidence through that.
Yes. Funny enough, it was one of the people in the group I was in who actually made me say, you know what, I'm going to speak now. So we're talking, and then I threw an idea, and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I didn't think of that. Thank you. I'm like, oh, my idea's been used. Nice. I felt a bit proud and excited, and I was like, okay. It was the second or third day. I think it was the last 3 days is when I started speaking slowly. The chair would say, anyone have any POIs, point of information or questions? I'd raise my placard, I'd ask them, da 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 da. Some of them would answer, some of them wouldn't, and I'd feel bad. I'm like, sorry, I shut you down. And then...
So your confidence grew because you saw other students speaking their minds out and it being accepted.
Yeah. And there was this one small kid, like younger than me. I just saw him, he would stand up, he'd say his points with voice and courage, not even stutter. And he'd just be like, yes, that's my idea. Any POIs, I'm open to all POIs. And I'm like, all? Okay.
That's
then
good.
They'd ask him POIs and then he'd answer them. And then if he can't answer them, he'd be like, I'll get back to you, okay? And I was just like, if a kid can do it, who am I not to?
You see, and I love that. I think the whole idea you're capturing here is unlearning ways that unfortunately are still within our education system, 844. I remember that also being a very clear line for me, was that whatever thoughts you have, they are valid to be heard, whether they are right or wrong, and being able to own my voice and speak. And I also came to understand that if you don't speak, nobody hears you.
Yeah.
That this whole idea of where we think shyness is noble, is being noble. Like the world moves with people who speak their ideas out, And so for me, it was really unlearning that quote-unquote fake virtue that being modest is being quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to speak. If I'm going to bring change, I have to speak, and I have to own my voice, Yeah. So I'm glad that you're really learning that at even a much younger age. Because by the time you're getting to our age, who'll know, the mighty things you'll have done, Just the idea that, I need to share my opinion and my ideas. And it's only by doing that change is brought, Yeah. So your first travel out of the country was to Joburg, and it grew your confidence. Now, this other one is the one you went with your team members for Fast Robotics.
Fast
Global Robotics.
Yeah.
And your team won.
Your
team won silver. Sorry,
Yeah.
Your team won silver.
The Alliance won silver.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, just before that, I remember one time coming to see you in the house, and you were not there. And then when you came in, I asked you, where have you been? And you were like, I just went to shop for some tools that I needed. And you were like, I was like, yeah, you said you were looking for an Allen key for calibrating the robot. I thought, am I in a Jetson movie? Like, what is this boy talking about, And so now seeing that you have traveled with your team and your team has done so well that you are second, in a whole global competition is so amazing. Do you want to share what it was like going to Panama and how it changed you briefly?
Yes. So from the beginning-ish, from the time I met the team to us building the robot, to us throwing ideas, all that was amazing. It was an eye-opener. The fact is, First Global, when you participate and you register, they don't give you a manual on how to build a robot.
Right.
They just give you size, this is what you're restricted to, and this is a small guide on how to do some things, like how to program the motors, or how to build the chain, how to cut the extrusions.
Yes.
That's what they give you. The rest, it's up to you. Build the robot how you want. Triangle, rectangle, oval, build it small, big, however. But just know, if you're building it big, you're restricted to this size. And I'm like, okay. Immediately brainstorming, giving everyone roles. You're in charge of this, you're in charge of that. And me, Gitonga, Gayan, and a few others, but mostly us, were in charge of the design of the robot, how to build it, how the way to distribute on the robots. So there was that. There was the programmers. There was those in charge of social media. Those in charge of making sure the robot is safe. Thank you to St. Mary's for keeping the robot and hosting us. Thank you to them. So, yeah. So when we traveled, it was a long flight. My first long flight. So
How long was the flight?
like 20-something hours, even 20 or 19 hours in total. I'm not sure.
Wow,
It was
that's
through
a long
Amsterdam.
flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you had a stop,
Layover.
a layover,
Yeah.
right?
Seems layovers in Amsterdam are short, but that's a story for another
Yes,
day.
that's true. Layovers in Amsterdam are short.
Yeah.
But tell me, when you walked into that space and you in Panama, which is a country that you maybe hear about it in the movies,
Yes.
but now you are experiencing the country.
Yeah.
Tell me something. What was one of your culture shocks of that?
One, the temperature. I didn't do much research on Panama. It was my dad who told me it's gonna be warm, so pack light stuff. No jackets, no hoodies, nothing heavy. I'm like, okay. But then, kelele yangu, I packed one hoodie that I never wore the entire trip.
Even on the plane, you didn't wear it?
I wore a jacket. That was to keep my passport close to me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that was a light jacket. So we land, and I leave the plane. I enter the, what's that tunnel called? Like a little sponge they put on the plane. I enter that. Walking through immigration and all that. I'm like, what my dad said, it's cool, it's cold. I forgot AC.
The AC was working, right?
Yes. I'm like, it's cold, bro. Hey, wait. What's I been told? I'm just usiku.
Right.
So we walk, we get through immigration, and then we see like people holding up signs, First Global, Megapolis Hotel, that's where I stayed. We go through and through, we get our tour guide, he takes us to the bus. And then when we just leave the airport, like the doors, there are two doors, there's one inside and one outside. Went to the first door, still cold. Second door opens, you leave, and you just hit with humidity.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, excuse me? I don't think this is normal. Like, I go from cool, comfortable and all to humidity, sweating. I'm like,
So it's almost like you're in Nairobi type of weather, and instantly the doors open, you're in like super Mombasa hot weather, right?
It was actually, Mombasa is worse than Panama.
Okay.
In terms of heat. The thing, Panama is hot and the air is moist, if I can say. It's more cozy.
Okay.
Cozy warm. So we're like, it's hot. Hey, how are we going to survive the bus right there? Because you don't know how far the hotel is.
Right.
So we get directed to the bus. We put our robot, our suitcases, all in the bus. We get in the bus. The bus has AC.
Oh, so that was good. So I want you to fast forward and tell me about your experience in the competition itself. Just summarize it. You have about 2 minutes.
Yeah. So we reached the competition. The first day, we're all scared. We're like, we're here. We've built a robot. We've done this. It's time to show what we can do. Okay. One issue we may have had was this climbing the rope thing. That's what really put us in a bunch of redesigns. But we reached there, we reached the competition. And then we enter our tent, I'll just call it a tent for now.
Right.
A place where we sit down, we build a robot as a team, we relax, and it was a little shelter, home. So we decorate it, and then we get called, we're like, practice fields are open, you can go practice the robot and see how it's doing, how it's working, how it's this. And we reach there, we practice, we see, oh gosh, we actually still can't climb the rope, and then we see other people's robots just climb, done. And like, okay, we're good. And then this team Kazakhstan, we didn't even see the robots. They came on like the day of the actual competition, no practice day. So like a day after us, they just come, they sit down, they decorate. Just a big box there, not opened. The robot is there. I'm like, what confidence is this? And then Guyana tells me, they won First Global 4 times. And I'm like, okay, now I see why the confidence. And
Kazakhstan?
Yes.
Robots.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I would never have thought about that. And also, you see, that's, I think what amazes me about this travel is like those are countries you just see in documentaries or you hear about.
I really didn't even hear much about Kazakhstan.
That also too, but because of these fast global robotics, you are able to really experience these people who live in these countries that you hear about or you see in a map.
Yeah.
But these people now, you could experience them physically and see that really there's no difference between you and them.
Yeah.
That you deserve what they have, that your idea matters in that place.
Yes.
That you deserve a table in this global space.
Yes.
At such a young age. I think that is so amazing.
Yes.
Because I think by the time I was interacting at that level, I mean, I must have been 10 years older than you just to know that this is absolutely possible,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, and I just love it. You just speak about building robots. It's like buying candy, making chai, I love that,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what your generation of African innovators will really build in Africa and how you will transform our lives,
Yeah.
So, I've always been a great believer in what you're doing. And I think you should keep doing it, keep dreaming. There's no limit to what you can do, So, yeah, I just wish you nothing but, my prayers are with you, you know that.
Yeah.
Just before we finish, I also want to touch on, does Babu's story inspire you in any way?
Yes, it does a bit because he, as you told me, he was the first person in our family to travel outside Kenya.
Right.
He went to Canada for his studies and he still came back.
Yes.
So it was kind of inspiring. I was like, I knew my grandfather traveled. My same grandfather was here, and a piggy story too.
Yes.
And then there was a story that grandma puts up on the wall of him shaking hands with the then president.
Right.
And I was just like, hey, you go from traveling to meet the president. Hii lazima nionje.
Right. And so it makes you know that it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible for you to do these things. I never touched on this, but I think one of the best memories I have of my dad, and I traveled a lot, but every time he knew I was traveling, when he was not a little sick like he is now, he always wore a suit and he always wanted to take me to the airport.
Yeah.
And have coffee with me and then send me off. And it was, like he would be dressed in anything. As soon as you say you're headed to the airport, he has to wear his suit and escort you like a diplomat,
Yeah.
And it's just those simple things that build courage in me to know that, you are able, that you have my blessing, that you can do this thing, that it matters what you're doing,
Yeah.
And that was absolutely inspirational. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And like we have said, I think you're in a wonderful team, the first global robotics,
Yeah.
and people should support what you guys are doing, right?
Yes.
Yes, and so we're going to put up the pay bill there. You can support what this wonderful organization is doing in terms of building and inspiring innovation amongst young African, young Kenyans. And already you can see they have a track record. They became number 2 over 180 countries.
Yeah.
So is there anything you want to say in your parting shot?
Shout out to the team. Thank you for Global for the opportunity to compete.
Mm-hmm.
And to the team next year, you have big shoes to fill, but we wish you the best of luck and do your best.
So, Tequeino,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming.
You're
We
welcome.
really appreciate you. I just hope your story inspires young innovators in Kenya to dream big. Really want to appreciate the audience for listening to the story. And follow us on the next episode. We will have an amazing chef who has studied out, who has traveled and worked in 5-star hotels. And she will make us some gourmet food and some gourmet recipes that you can be able to share with your family even as you're going into the festive period. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And if you can, subscribe and share the podcast. Thank you so much.